everyone. So excited to see. Let me go into my participants here. I'm Dr. Marianne Cintron, founder of Step by Step Dyslexia Solutions, a 501c3 nonprofit charitable organization. What our purpose is to help children learn literacy skills so that they can realize their full potential and positively give back to the communities. And we do that by training the teachers. And we want to equip them with research-based programs and provide scholarships for them. Some people can pay privately, and some people need to wait for the scholarships. So this is day 2 of Preschool Champs, and we are sharing the second 5 of 10 secrets to get your preschooler ready for school success. So I'm going to jump right in and start sharing my screen. And we have a lot of stuff going on here. And let me see here, go into my PowerPoint. All righty. And I'm going to go full view here. Okie doke. So for those of you who were here yesterday, would you put in the, raise your hand if you were here yesterday, because I want you to think about what your takeaways were from yesterday. Okay. People have some takeaways from yesterday. Was it the manipulatives? Was it teaching your child how to share a story? And I hope the screen isn't too big. I think it's good. Okay. Day 2 of this webinar. I think my screen is just a little too big because, oh, there we go. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to please participate as I share, but save your questions for the end. And if Lorena can be answering them, she can, but if you don't get an answer, just save it for the end and have a note paper so you can keep notes of what you learned today. I'm really excited to share with you guys today. A little bit about my background. I have been an educator for 20 years and a classroom teacher for 10. So I've been a mom for 30 years. So I know what the teachers are experiencing, and I know what the parents are experiencing with small children at home. This is these are pictures of my family. My husband, Will, and I have been wonderfully married for 30 years by God's grace. And this is our a picture in Hawaii. This is my whole family. We have a blended family, Richie, Laura, and Randy. And here's my husband, Will, and I at the beach at Huntington. We live in California, so we love bike riding along the coast. And my daughter, Laura, just got married in November to Michael. So this is a picture of her with Michael. So yesterday's learning outcomes were learning how to teach your child to write upper and lowercase letters. Well, first, how to recognize lower and uppercase recognition, phonics, letter to sound association, rhyming, how to share a favorite toy, and comprehension, using pictures associated to stories that are being told. And then today's learning outcomes are going to be developing comprehension, review of the types of reading, reading and building words, and reading sentences. What? Sentences? Yeah. And getting started with writing, when to stay inside the lines, and we're going to talk about sequential memory. So in developing comprehension, I want to start and say some of these books are wonderful to read to children, but there's so many words. So adults, you need to know the book that you're sharing with your child. You're going to read the pictures. You're not going to read the words. And you're going to ask the child, what is their favorite part of the picture? What do they recognize in the picture? But first, you're going to look through the whole book. You will privately read the story so that you'll know what kind of words to narrate for your child. So this book, A Case of Stripes, this is called A Bad Case of Stripes by David Shannon. You can say the name of the book, say the author's name, and when you open up, you're going to talk about the pictures. This is a story about a little girl who did not like lima beans. Raise your hands if you like lima beans. Let's see if you like. Healthy eaters are raising their hands. Okay. So she did not like lima beans. So as a result, when everything she started thinking about or saying, she turned into it. So when she said the Pledge of Allegiance, she turned into Stars and Stripes. When a doctor came to see her and started talking about medicine she needed, she turned into a pill. How scary is that, right? Then she had a psychologist come to her room and tell her to breathe in deeply, become your surroundings. So she became her surroundings. Her bed became her lips. It's a funny, funny movie, but it's got a lot of activity and a lot of fantasy to it. So children love it. But children aren't going to read all these words. You're not going to read all these words because your child will not be still long enough. So you're going to read the picture. In the end, the little girl enjoys her lima beans and she returns to her real self. So the story has a wonderful happy ending, and maybe your child will like lima beans, who knows? Okay, so asking the right questions, how does the book make you feel? What do you think of the silliness of this book? What do you think will happen next? This is going to develop comprehension skills, and it'll develop listening skills. If your child isn't giving you the answers, go ahead and share the answers. So we're going to review a little bit of the books we shared yesterday, books that help with life events, having a baby sister, being scared of something downstairs or under the bed, values, caring for a sick pet. When a little puppy got old, the little boy just loved his pet, cared for his pet. Share your faith with your child, whatever books you have. Share the pictures, share the stories, addressing fears. This little, the little bird lost the mother. You know, there's a separation anxiety when preschoolers go to kindergarten that we want to avoid. We want to let them enjoy going to kindergarten and get rid of that separation anxiety because the mom is there, the dad is there. There is someone there at the home that loves that child. So this is the value of the books we shared, and always do a picture walk first. Talk about the pictures first, then go back to the beginning of the story and start your reading. These will have much easier stories to read, and your child can repeat sentences that you read. They can fill in the blanks of stories that have repetition, and you could also have them point to pictures in the books. You can also ask them, what do they think is going to happen next? Make it enjoyable. So I want to share this little story about Are You My Mother? Because it was one of my children's favorites. It started off with the mother bird needing to get food for her baby chick. So she knew the bird was going to be hatching soon. So she goes on. So when she's gone, the baby bird wakes up, falls out of the tree, and meets all these different pets. Or in the cow, because your cow is not a pet. And then in the end, screams for his mother, and the mother returns. But I want to share a little bit of the book with you because I want to show you how you can have your child participate. And we call this shared reading. So in the story, it says, the little bird came to a kitten. Are you my mother? He said to the kitten. The kitten just looked, and it did not say a thing. And so the kitten was not his mother, so he went on. Then he came to a hen. Are you my mother? He said to the hen. No, said the hen, I am not your mother. So the kitten was not his mother. The hen was not his mother. So the baby bird went on. I have to find my mother, said the baby bird. But where? Where is she? Where could she be? Then he came to a dog. So you ask your child, what do you think he asked the dog? And the child should say, are you my mother? That's right. That's exactly what the bird asked the dog. What do you think the dog said? That's right. The dog said, I am not your mother. I am a dog. Okay, so then you're going to point to the pictures and say, okay, so let's read this together. The kitten was not his mother. The chicken was not his, or the hen was not his mother. The dog was not his mother. Then baby bird came to and then you point to the cow, ask them to say the name of the animal. And the child will say a cow. And then ask, what do you think he asked the cow? And your child should say, are you my mother? And on like that. So you're going to find books that repeat sentences and let your child participate. This is called shared reading. And so yesterday I showed this video and we weren't able to hear it. So it's a funny kid video, the importance of reading. If you can't hear it today, I won't play the whole thing. So let me know in the chat if you can hear it a little and if it's worth listening to or not, okay? But you really will enjoy it. And I couldn't turn the volume up any more than it is.
My name's Jack, and I was going to talk about reading. And reading is where you have to look at the words. You have to point at it. Also, you have to do your hardest to work at doing it.
Oops.
And it's great to read because it's fun.
It's great to read because it's fun. Not to me because I don't know how to read. I guess when I go into my chat, it stops it, sorry.
5.5 years. And I have a lot of money. I have like, I think 200, I think.
He has $200.
And, reading is very important because now you know how to read. And that's good. That is very good. Kind of on top, which is pretty hard as well. But if you tie, you don't have to let anybody else tie, because you know how to tie. And that's good. That's very good. Well, I have read, but I take a very long time. So that's why I do not like to read, but I do it anyways. I get it out of my way because Dad likes making me read. Why does he like making me read? Because he wants me to learn to read, and that's good. I just do not know how to read that. And you will, right? I'm sending this to the whole world. I know that, but this is a very good video.
I'm sorry. I stopped it trying to see the chats, but I understand you could hear that. And it's just a wonderful story of the little boy wanting to read, struggling to read. And he says he wants to get it out of the way. I don't think he likes it when he wants to get it out of the way. Is that right? Oops. Okay. So let's go into the next. Okay. So the second learning outcome for today is reading and building words and sentences. So let's talk about that. So you're going to have some manipulatives. Sam Orden and Anna Gillingham were the pioneers of reading back in the 1930s and 40s and 50s. And they realized that if children are using multisensory objects to learn visually, auditorily, hands-on, they're going to have more success with reading. So we call these manipulatives. Whether you use little cubes like this that connect together, whether you use little plastic circles that are different colors, we call those manipulatives. So what you're going to do to help a child learn to sound the words out is, first of all, just say the word. For example, say pen and have the child repeat pen. Then you want to tap the word out with your fingers. So we're going to go p, e, n. Have the child do 3 fingers. P, e, n, pen. Now, if doing the fingers is too difficult for your child, they can tap on their table. Okay, but we want them to know every letter has its own sound. So then you grab a manipulative for every sound. So we'll grab a pink for the p, we'll grab a red for the e, and we'll grab a yellow for the n. And we'll point to each sound, p, e, n, push the cubes together and say pen. So then we can try another one. Break them all up. Let's say bag. So let's tap out the word bag. Do it with me at home. Use your hand, and if you want to tap it on your table, that's another way. B-A-G, bag. So let's get the cubes that would sound out bag. We'll get a green and we'll get a yellow. So when you grab the cube, you're going to say the sound B. Yellow will be A. Pink will be G. So we're going to say the sound with each letter. I say the sound with each cube. B, A, G. Push it together. Bag. Now I would recommend, I didn't do this in the practice, but save all the greens for the vowels. And then you can use the letter, the other colors for the consonants, but be consistent with your vowel color. And then when you have cubes like this, if you have a word like dad, it's even fun to say, get 3 colors, get the brown with a green and another brown, which will show that the 2 colors represent the same sound. D-ad, dad. So when I have my training on June 11th, I'm going to show you very clearly how to do this with the children. So the neat thing is, yesterday we learned how children look at pictures to learn the beginning and ending sounds. So now we're advancing a level and we're using manipulatives. Pictures are going to start going away and manipulatives will eventually turn to letters. We don't introduce letters now. This is strictly sound awareness. Now we're going to, can we have a raise of hands if you understand that? Okay, thank you for raising your hands. A lot of people asked me yesterday, and they always wonder, how come we don't put the letter on the cube? Because that's introducing the letter sound association, and that's another higher level. So now we're going to start getting, we're going to start with writing, and we introduce the way we write as some letters go into the sky, some letters drop down into the dirt, but we want to focus on the grass area, the middle part. So letters will start taking shape in the middle part of the grass, and like a D, you'll make a circle and give it a tail up into the sky. A P, you'll make a circle and you'll give it a tail down into the dirt. So again, I encourage you, find letters that show your child's name. Now I want to share again, I shared this yesterday, that we start with the letters P, and then we add B, and then we add T, and this is research-based by a woman named Sheila Edmonds, and she was a fellow of Orton Gillingham's, and she's a speech pathologist. And there are certain ways that children learn sounds better. And it has to do with, I'll teach a little bit of this in my training on June 11th, about the stops of the letters that have stops. They stop the airflow. So that would be P, B, T, D, C, K, and G. And then we have fricatives, which constrict airflow, and they have a hissing sound. So then we'll introduce the F and the V and the S and the Z. So there's different reasons we introduce the letters the way we do. Did you know that L and R are introduced at the end? They're very difficult for kids to learn because they curl the tongue. And I know some of my Vietnamese friends cannot say those letters because their alphabet doesn't use those. So on a whiteboard, you can make the 3 lines, a blue, a green, and a brown line. Show the child how you make his name with a capital letter. You go up to the top line, start at the bottom, go up to the top, down to the middle of the grass, up to the sky line, down to the dirt line. And these other letters are all right at the grass level, except the G goes down into the dirt level. And you're gonna do hand over hand when you teach your child. We're gonna start with the poster board. I like getting these easel pads also because you can put letters inside each of these squares. I had one of those. Oh, I thought I set the picture, but you could set, draw your blue line, skip 2 spaces, draw the green line, skip 2 spaces, draw the brown line, and in the green, let the, actually, it depends on how big your squares are. So every square could be a letter. So you only need 1, 2, 3 to spell the child's name. After you use so you have either a large whiteboard or you have poster paper, and you're showing the child what to do. So you're modeling for them uppercase and lowercase p at first, and then you're going to advance to the whiteboard. Use the whiteboard. This is where you may do hand over hand with the child to get them started. Uppercase P, lowercase p. And I like these whiteboards that have the letters in them, and it also shows the direction to help you remember how to form the letters. I include all these in my kit if you are in my training or want to order it separately. And then another idea is to advance to paper. You can highlight with orange or yellow the letter uppercase P, lowercase K. First we do the uppercase P, and then have the child copy with a thick pencil in the uppercase P. And then I have the lowercase p next to it with a thick pencil. They need that for their grip. You want to have them form the lowercase p. Then you can advance to making dots. I did this in the preschool summer school about 3 years ago, and the children love it. You make your dots and let the child connect the dots for the uppercase P and the lowercase p. And then eventually, you're going to just have a dot at the top. And you're going to teach them, start at the top and go down for your uppercase P, go back to the top, make a half a circle. And then for the lowercase p, you start at the grass, go down into the dirt, go back to the grass, make a half a circle. And you'll be surprised how many will learn it just by having one little dot on the paper. And I want to remind you to have the thick pencils. Target has them, or I have them in my kit. But you want to teach your child the correct grip. When I was teaching summer school, some of the occupational therapists were letting the child hold the pencil like this and teaching them such a bad habit. Who wants a child writing like this? Let's go ahead and teach them to write like this. You hold your thumb in front, the finger on top, and your middle finger on the side, and the pencil will be long. So have your child hold down to the bottom of the pencil. There are workbooks I provide. Well, in my kit, I do have some workbooks. I provide a workbook that gives you this graduation of learning to write the letters. See how first they trace it, and then they start with the line, and the dot. They use the dot as their model. And you can also buy workbooks that have these cute little squares. So the small squares will be letters that are in the grass. The top square, the square that goes up is going into the sky for like a letter D. And then you'll have squares that go down into the dirt for a letter G. This is very helpful. Well, bag, the pictures are right here. Bag, cap, and cat. So now the child's learning those letters, writing the letters, and making that sound association. So now we're going to talk about building sentences with sentence strips and sequencing. Your child's not going to write this. No. You're going to write the sentences. You're going to write very simple sentences on the sentence strips that I provide, or you can pick them up at the 99-cent store. The pet woke up. You're going to read to your child, the pet went out. Then you're going to read to your child, the pet ate food. So then you're going to mix these sentence strips up and ask your child to put them in the right order. So because we have had a pet, we know that he needs to wake up. He needs to go out right away, and then he comes in and eats his food. So you can talk to your child about that, but you're going to teach your child sentence sequencing. This helps with predicting what's next. It just is excellent for the brain, and it's going to be building synapses, making those connections in the brain, understanding about sentences. Also, teach them early that we capitalize the beginning letter of our sentences. That's why we need to learn upper and lowercase letters. We capitalize the beginning of our sentence. We put a period at the end of our sentences. Many children who struggle with reading forget to punctuate, and there is a period there. They forget to capitalize their sentences. So they're going to be learning some very valuable writing tools right here. Have the student learn how to write his or her name. So you're going to write it on a strip of paper, and the stores sell these beautiful cards, and then hand over hand. Your hand over your child's small little tiny hand, just like this. And you're going to help them write until they feel comfortable writing their own name. And you get a lot of these in a pack, so you can keep the beginning ones and see how your child progresses over time. So, learning outcome number 4. Well, let's have a participation. Did you understand about having your child read sentences? Well, let me back up one more thing. Okay, good. A good show of hands. One thing I want to say about these sentences, you can also ask your child, point to, okay, you're going to read the sentence, the pet ate food. Point to the word pet. Let your child point to that word. Then you ask your child, the pet went out. Point to the word out. Let your child point to out. Then read, the pet woke up. Now I'm going backwards, but you don't do that. I'm just thinking, have your child point to a specific word in the sentence. Children with dyslexia have a real difficult time with this. I learned that from an adult. So you'll get a heads up if your child's going to need some extra support. So when to stay inside the lines, we have wonderful thick crayons that you can purchase. So you want to start with a child's coloring book. In my kit, I give a girl's coloring book and a boy's coloring book. But there's so many you can buy that have thick lines and they're easy to fill in. You want to teach your child to outline first of all, outline the picture, and then you want to teach your child to fill in one section at a time, and they're going to draw up and down, or sideways, left to right, left to right. They're not going to scribble all around like this, like a lot of children just do naturally, because this is a tool, this is a secret. You're going to train them. When I was a substitute teacher in kindergarten, because I did a lot of subbing when I worked on my doctorate, I was really surprised how some children in kindergarten knew how to color in the lines very beautifully, and some just were outside the lines and didn't learn. And here they were competing with another student that knew that. So let's get your preschooler ready up front. They also have jumbo multi-theme coloring pads that I used in preschool. And it's fun because the biggest, best pictures with the least lines get chosen first. The crayons, you outline, and you may not know this, but crayons, because if you get Crayola, they actually have the wax that will leave a barrier around the outline, so that when your child fills in that portion, the crayon's going to want to stop automatically. So it's going to really help them. Here's the jumbo pad. I provide in my kit a pad of paper, not this large, but I do provide a nice pad. And here are some pictures. Now these pictures have a lot of lines because the ones that I used originally for my students in summer school disappeared really quickly. But ultimately your child will outline, one square and then fill it up. Outline a square, fill it in. Outline a square, fill it in. Try to have your child use the correct colors. If you have black, let's make the tire black. So we're going to outline both sides and we're going to fill in very neatly with black. And this is a process. You want to take your time and be patient, and you want to put it on your refrigerator. You want to hang it up and give your child praise. I've been in people's offices where they have the child's coloring in their room, in their office and on the refrigerator. And it's really not that neat, but oh my gosh, start with the praise. Give your child kudos for trying, and you're going to see how they're going to improve. So this is when you don't need to stay inside the lines. Have fun here. Go outside with your child. Give them a big box of chalk, that's the thick chalk. Let them color away. And you can buy these at Target. This is one, I saw a real nice drawing a few weeks ago. I was walking with my husband in the neighborhood, and children told a story, and it went for about maybe 10 yards, and it was just so beautiful and colorful. And I had videoed it, so I couldn't upload it. I was really disappointed. I wanted to show you. So here's just a little quick sample. Make a house, model for your child. Put some words in that they might know, or if they don't know it, you can just read the words. But teach them how to make a house, how to make a cloud. And we have a lot of chimneys on our houses, so that's very typical. But just have fun, and there's no lines to stay in. So I want to give me a hands up if you understand how to help your child learn to color. Okay, are you learning some new things with that? Okay, thanks for your participation. Appreciate that. Yay. All right, so now I want to teach you about sequential memory. Parents typically don't know this because this is a special ed teacher thing that we learn. A lot of children are assessed to see how they remember things. So I went to a private school for 12 years. So this cute little picture really got my attention of all the uniforms, and the way students differentiated was with the color of their shoes. So you're going to ask your child, you're going to pick, let the child know, these are black sandals, these are pink, and these are white sandals. This is a headband, this is a blouse, this is a skirt. So you want to be sure your child knows the names of the items in the picture, because part of Building comprehension is developing their vocabulary. So I want you at home to point to the child in with the black sandals. So you can point to the middle, the head, wherever. Now, or you might point here. That's fine too. Point to the child with the white sandals. You're going to point here. Point to the child with the black sandals and then the white sandals. See if your child has that memory. Here and then here. Point to the child whose mouth you can see. See if they point here. Point to the child with the pink sandals and then the child with the mouth you can see. So they'll point here and here. So you want to keep it simple at first, and then we're going to get other pictures. This is a picture I've had for, 15 years. It came in the mail, and I went, oh my gosh, look at all the things in this picture. We have a monkey, we have a leopard, we have an alligator, we have a snake, a butterfly, a monkey, a sloth, and another monkey. So you're going to let your child know what the names of the animals are. Bird. Okay, ask your child, point to the bird. And you could even say in the center of the picture. There's only one bird, but it's in the center. So that's going to teach them center. Point to the monkeys. Point to two monkeys. 1, 2. Point to the bird and then the two monkeys. Bird, monkey, monkey. Point to the snake. Point. Point to the snake and then the sloth in the tree. See if they remember sloth in the tree. Point to the monkey in the tree. Child will point here. So I want you to point with me, okay? I'm going to make this difficult because you're the parent. This is an armadillo, okay? Point to the snake and then the bird and then the armadillo. Snake, bird, armadillo. Point to the leopard, then the monkey in the tree. Leopard, monkey in the tree. So you can get an idea of when to add something else for your child, but this is developing sequential memory. And maybe don't do it too long, maybe just 3 to 5 minutes. I don't even know how long that would, how your child's frustration level or success level, but give them a sticker after they do this. Be sure you're rewarding your child. Now, my daughter just got married, so I saved some of her magazines from wedding planning that she threw out. Oh my goodness. So these are great ways to teach vocabulary to your child. Look at this: cabbage, tomato, grater, cheese. Here's another grater. And then these are different spatulas, a spoon. So you can ask your child, point to the cheese on the picture. Here's the cheese. Ask your child, point to the 2 cheese graters, here and here. Point to the cabbage in the bowl. Here's the cabbage. Point to the cabbage, then the tomato, here and here. So you're getting the point, right? You get magazines in your mail that you can use, or you can just purchase a nice magazine. We used to get highlighters, highlight magazines. Oh, they were full of colors. These are great ways to teach your children vocabulary. Chairs, table, light, couches, fireplace. See how many words you can help your child develop. And then ask them, point to the chair, point to the table and then a chair. Okay. Point to the table and then the light. Okay. Point to 3 lights and they'll point 1, 2, 3. So, and then here's another to teach them water, teach them flowers and trees. And you want to start with pictures close together, and then you can move the pictures further apart. So let me show me with your participation, a raise of hands, who thought that sequential memory was interesting, something new. Okay. And it's a lot of fun. Thank you for that. Okay, so the learning outcomes for today, we developed more comprehension, and we talked about the types of reading. Raise your hand if you have a little bit more clarity about comprehension for your child when they read and how you can partner with that. Excellent. And then reading and building words, and then reading sentences. Raise your hands if you understand better how to read and build words, and also reading sentences, what you understand, how a preschooler can actually read sentences. Okay, then getting started with writing. Raise your hands if you believe you learned something about getting started with writing. Very good. Okay, some of you already knew a lot of this, so let it validate that what you're doing is correct, and maybe it'll give you a little bit more ideas of what you can add. When to stay inside the lines. How many of you are new to helping to help your child teach how to color? When I taught the moms at the church who were not taught themselves, they loved this because they never learned themselves. And so hopefully these are more tools for you. And then you showed me that you really enjoyed what you learned with sequential memory. So we're a lot of happy kids. They're going to enter kindergarten not being afraid, not having separation anxiety. They're going to be excited to go and see how smart they are and see how smart their peers are. And they're going to be happy to know they know what their peers are learning, what their peers know. And then when their kindergarten teacher reinforces these steps, they're going to be ahead of the game. So you're on the right track getting your child started at home. So now you have earned my free web app. The reason I want to put the free web app in your hand is I want it to be free for you, but I want it to be a gift for you, because my very first exercise, the app is called Dunking Dyslexia. Your child doesn't need to have dyslexia to use it. Your child will see exercise 1 has letter names and sounds. So after your child starts learning the letter names and sounds and is ready to write, you can let him or her listen to that web app and start writing on that thick lined paper with that nice thick pencil, the letters that I say. And I say the alphabet in order, and I repeat every letter 3 times. So it's a great practice for writing. I just have 2 requests. And so Lorena is going to list the it's the web app. So you don't put www in. So it's connected to my website. That's how it's free. This is how you access it. And then here's a code. You're going to be asked for a code, and you have a unique code for this training. And you have it free for a month. But I'm going to ask you 2 things. I would like to get the app rated. So if you would go into your iOS phone or your Android, download the app. You have it free for 3 days as well, but go ahead and rate it. So let me know that you're enjoying it, and then this will give us some more attention and be able to help more children around the world with this app. And then you could hold on to it if you want. If you take my training on June 11th, you'll get the you'll get the app for free for 3 months, but you don't have to hold on to the app. It's $9.99 a month, and it goes to the nonprofit. But also, would you please share the app with someone else? Because children don't need to be low learners. They can know how to read. And if they want to raise a C to a B or a B to an A, there's exercises there that they can practice their spelling and writing in words. And they increase with complexity as they advance from exercise 2 through 28. And then I have 8 exercises of sentences. And the other exercises have music in the left ear and spelling exercises in the right ear, which I talk about in my dyslexia webinar. But anyway, it's just great for everybody. So this is what the app looks like. And you have it free. It's very colorful. The web app will look a little different. It'll be squares. But when you get to, when you see it on your phone, you'll see it like this. and it looks like a little donut with earphones in it. Very cute. So my training is going to be Preschool Pros. People have asked, how do I learn from you? So I am offering a training on June 11th. It's 4 hours. It's going to be virtual from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Let me train you. We need people who can instill those, the tools, to give us those tools. And you guys are highly motivated or you wouldn't be here. So I don't want to leave you without resources. So who is good for this training? Parents, grandparents, relatives, friends, siblings who want to help your child. And get excited because it's a fun training. I've had a lot of fun putting these two webinars together. Now the training is very different. I'm going to train you on these outcomes. We're going to develop, this is what we're going to do. You're going to learn how to assess your child. And it's nice because I train you, we go into breakout sessions, you practice, and we go through the instructions of how you do this. And then you're going to learn to help your child, your preschooler, approach kindergarten goals, such as listening with sound recognition, different ways to help them listen and develop that sound recognition, different strategies for rhyming. We're going to go more in depth in rhyming, more in depth with sound substitutions, dropping letters off, changing letters around. We're going to go more in depth about printing, helping your child very specifically with each letter and how you train that child with training, with printing, and then how for your child to learn dictation. So these are kindergarten processes that we're going to prepare you to help your child in preschool. So you'll be equipped to prepare your child for kindergarten. With the work you do with your child, he or she will be one of those 4 who are ready for school success. They won't be part of the statistic. So in my kit, I have the assessments, the word list, listening cards, the alphabet strip, lowercase letters, uppercase letters, cardboard letters to build your child's name. I also have manuscript writing booklet, a writing pad, kinder pencils, writing strips, a whiteboard, markers, beginning and ending cards, rhyming sound, beginning and ending sound cards, and rhyming cards, and early reader books. I have manipulatives for sounding and blending. And finally, I have a felt board included with a surprise story. And I have 2 coloring books with the thick crayons. And I provide your incentive charts with stickers. So you can purchase all this yourself, or you can let me help you. And the kit is valued at $197. It's included with the training. And how much does the training cost? Well, here we go. So a 4-hour training online is $797. It includes $197 for materials. I include bonus items, a private 30-minute coaching session valued at $100, my web app, Dunking Dyslexia, valued at $30, and my book, A Message of Hope, How Music Enhances Reading for Dyslexic Children, valued at $20. For a bonus grand total of $150. So if you add the $797 to the bonus items, the total value of the training for 4 hours is $947. But I'm giving the discount, so that's what I normally would charge throughout the year. I'm giving a COVID discount right now of $597. Because I want to bless you guys with a special price. So I'm going to save you a lot of time getting all those materials. I'm going to mail them to you. I'm going to teach you online. So you can text me at this number or call me later today. You can email me. Oh, there should be an N in there. Solutions.com. Step-by-step-dyslexia-solutions.com. And I am going to ask if we have any questions, and I'm going to actually stop sharing so I could answer your questions. And here's my thank you. Friend me on Facebook. As we're step-by-step dyslexia solutions, but it's easier for people to find me with dyslexia solutions. I have a really fun podcast where I interview parents and teachers. If you'd like to be interviewed, you can reach out to me as well, and we can get your story out. So I'm going to stop my share now. And voila, hello. So I want to see if you have any questions. How many of you are ready to get trained? Raise your hand or say yes. Okay, so here's a phone number, and think about it. If the price, if you're just not ready to pay the price now, you know, you could pay the fuller amount a little bit later, but I really want to offer you this very special price. Are there any questions? Thank you for the compliments. I really enjoy sharing my knowledge with you. I enjoy imparting what I believe God has given me to share with you. I think the time is now where people really want to learn how to help their children at home. Preschool can be expensive if you're in private preschool, and Head Start is for low income and even very low learners. Well, what if you don't fall into that category? You now have tools for your child at home. So I'm excited. I like to empower you. So we have about 5 minutes. If anybody has any questions. Let me see. Post them in the chat here. Don't be shy. So one of the questions I received yesterday was, what if your child doesn't want to do any of this? Maybe they're not ready. Maybe they're not ready. I don't know if your child has learning challenges. I don't know if there's too much emotional stuff going on where they don't want to engage, but it's normal for a child to want to learn and find out if they're eating properly, getting enough exercise, find out what their needs are. Are they getting enough parent time? They want their mom and dad's time, and show them this is time to spend with mom and dad and grandma, grandpa. This is time to spend with us. And keep the exercises small at first. Keep them down to 5 minutes and increase to 10 minutes. Start with the fun. It's so fun. If you haven't seen my webinar from yesterday, I sent it out to everybody. If you haven't had a chance to look at it, you've got to do that because there's a lot of fun ideas. Get them, they'll like it, little step by step. That's why I picked that with my name. Kids learn to read step by step. As anything we're trying to take on new in our own lives, whether it's exercise and diet, start with the little steps and reward those little steps. And you might even want to have one of your neighbors participate with you, or have siblings. I know we're isolated in our own homes, so maybe have a bigger brother or sister participate with the younger child, and maybe that competition will kick in and they'll want to achieve. And so another question that kept coming up was, how long do you spend with the child? So their attention span is really short. When I was teaching preschool, the IEP goals were set for 10 minutes to 15 minutes. So those were children who have learning challenges. But if your child doesn't have the learning challenges, you can probably get them to sit for 10 to 15 minutes easily. And then work up to 20 minutes. When they read with a teacher in kindergarten, they're going to have to sit quietly on a square and listen so that they can answer questions and be able to ask their own questions. Okay, so if there's no more questions, I want to thank you all. We're going to go ahead and sign out. I'm going to send this webinar to you all so you can share it with others. Enjoy the web app and give me your feedback. Email me. Let me know how you like it. I'm Dr. Marianne Cintron, founder of Step by Step Dyslexia Solutions. Every home is a classroom, and every parent is a teacher. Thank you, and God bless you.